Hi, and welcome to the Healthy Living Virtual Expo. Today we are talking about the Sangria harvest with host Dana Tanner, who is the owner of Restauration. Restoration is located at 2708 East 4th Street in Long Beach. So hopefully you'll like what you see and we can help support our businesses in our community. Before we get started, I just want to let you know Dana's going to do her thing. She's going to talk about the sangrias. If you have any questions, there's the question and answer bar as well as chat. We'll be monitoring that. She's going to have some recipes, so that'll be on there. This is being taped, so you don't have to worry about writing them all down. We can also provide those recipes to you afterwards. If you want to ask a question in person, you can raise your hand and I can unmute you if time permits itself. So anyway, with that, again, welcome. Dana, it's just great to have you here today. I'm really looking forward to what we've got ahead of us, and I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, so Restoration, we're here in Long Beach. We're halfway between Belmont Shore and downtown, so just 2 miles in between the two. We have a huge, beautiful back patio. We've been here for 6 years. We were closed for a year because we did have a fire. We reopened last November. And something that we're super well known for besides brunches and our seasonal fare are our sangrias. So we are always trying to do something within season, fresh fruits. And that goes across all of our menus, but we try to make things from scratch. So I'm going to go over 3 easy sangrias and kind of tell you how I like to put together the components for sangria. So you can play with this at home. You can take our recipes, you can build them yourself, or if you want to just know the basics for how to build, some wine cocktails, these are some nice things to consider when you're building your own and doing your little mixology on your own. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do the mulled wine. So the mulled wine, or actually I'm doing the white, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do the passion fruit. So we're going to do a white sangria, and passion fruit is totally in right now. I love it, and I love blood orange, and blood orange is really only in the winter months. So we like to always have a red seasonal sangria and a white seasonal sangria here. And so today we're debuting the white seasonal sangria. Super simple. I always have a measuring cup. I always have a straw or a stirrer, and I like to have a small ramekin or a shot glass for measuring so I can be exact, especially when it comes to your citrus. It's really important to make sure that you don't over add acid and things like to that. So I'm just going to build it in the glass. I love to top my glass with ice. I just fill it all the way to the top. And the recipes we're going to provide you basically will make a batch of 4. Depending on how ripe your fruit is, you might need to take away some sugar or add some sugar. So basically when I'm going to start on the passion fruit is I make sure that they've got their nice little divots in them. That doesn't mean they're old. That means they're going to be delicious. I'm going to cut into that. I'm going to save half for my garnish, and I'm going to take the other half right now. I'm just going to scoop it in to my measuring cup. So if you're doing this for bulk for a party or something, go ahead and build it in a big pitcher that you're able to stir everything. I love keeping the seeds in there. You can do the passion fruit purees, but I will say they tend to be way more acidic. Passion fruit is a super acidic fruit. It's super aromatic though, so I love it. And I'm excited that we can play with it in this season. The next thing I'm gonna add is pineapple juice. So I love doing fresh pineapple juice. I'll add just an ounce of it. This is going to be my sugar. So I always start with an acid, and the acid's going to range from whether you're doing lemon, lime, or I use passion fruit in this instance. The next thing I'm going to add is my sugar. I like to take my sugar fresh from my fruit, so I'd rather have it from apple juice, orange juice, or even pineapple juice. I'm going to add in about an ounce of that right there. And instead of having to add simple down the road, if I don't have to, I will add in more of the apple, orange, or pineapple, just depending on what I'm using for my sweet citrus there or my sweet fruit. And then the next thing I'm going to add is my wine. When I do white sangria, I always do a dry sangria. So I don't use Chardonnay or anything that's going to have a lot of residual sugar. I'm looking for things like Pinot Grigio, Verdejo, things that are going to be more bone dry. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Obviously, we're mixing a bunch of fun stuff into it, but I do try to find something with quality. So I'm not feeling like I'm, putting a lot of extra things in my cocktail that I don't need. So from here, we're going to do 4 ounces. Just going to top that off. Or I'm doing 5 ounces on this one. All right, perfect. 5 ounces. Next thing, booze. Our booze can range from vodka. We have a low-proof vodka because we're beer and wine. So I put about 1 ounce of that in there. You can do a ½ ounce if you're doing real vodka, like a 40-proof vodka. Or you can, if you want to booze it up, do a full ounce in there. And you can also do brandy when we're doing our mulled wines or red wines. And you could also do tequila. So we do a fresh cucumber concoction, which our cucumber lime margarita, and it's fresh lime juice, fresh cucumber, tequila, or agave, whatever you'd like to use. So I'm gonna do our vodka here. Just 1 ounce of it goes a long way. Beautiful. And then if you have any adjuncts that you want to add to it, like whether you're adding an herb or a spice, that can always be done on the finish. I am basically going to give this a little stir. Make sure everything's mixed up, top to bottom. And I'm just pouring it over my ice and let's right to the top. Perfect. And you can, I'm actually going to throw some blood orange in here too. I love blood orange. It's not as sweet usually as a regular orange. So I'm just going to throw the whole entire thing in there. I've just put them into little half wheels, throw them in there, give it a little stir, and then you can garnish it with your half wheel of your blood orange, and you can throw your little passion fruit on there. So pretty, so delicious. I already was working on one right here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So this one is great because if you leave the blood orange, the whole entire rind and the fruit in there, the pulp, you'll actually get it to macerate and take in all of that flavor from everything that it's sitting in. So it's okay to drink this the next day too. It's going to be amazing. Sometimes the longer the fruit sits with all the berries and fun things you put in it, it tastes even better. Okay, so white one, done. Let's move on to red. This one, what I love to say about this is this one, sangrias, to me, you should always, always, always want 2 of them. If you don't want to, it's either too rich or, like we're missing something. So always think, can I have 2 of these? Do I want 2 of these? That's the goal in mind here. Next, we're going to do our red. So the red is apple cinnamon right now. We just finished with, we had orange blackberry, and then our white for the summer months was the watermelon blueberry. Watermelon blueberry is definitely our most popular. I can also give you that information afterwards, but this is our winter sangria. So for the red, what I love to do with this is we go ahead and we take our lemon, and I'm just gonna build the glass first, and then we'll build into the glass. Take my lemon, I'm gonna go ahead and put it around the top of the glass there. And then I have a cinnamon and salt, or cinnamon and sugar, salt would be terrible, rim right there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that lemon in there, leave it. I'm gonna take that lime. I'm gonna put some lime in there. Lime's great this time of year. Instead of being like super rock hard, they've got a little bit more juice in them. And then I love using apple juice for my sangrias as well. And for this one, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in my vodka. I do the 1 ounce again. Let's throw some ice in here actually. This one I'm building in the glass versus building in the measuring cup, but you can do it either way. Just make sure you give it a good stir. So I've got my acids in there. I've added my booze in there. I'm gonna go ahead and add my red wine now. Anything that is not super light in color. So I stay away from Pinots when I do my sangrias for red. And I'll do 4 ounces of 5 ounces. Let's be generous. I keep saying 4. We're gonna do 5 ounces, and I chose a Merlot today. So we're throwing in a Merlot, and I need to start adding some sweetness to this. So I'm gonna add about a ½ ounce of orange juice. If I feel like I need some more sweet to it, depending on your preference, go ahead and add some more OJ to it. It's pretty simple. All right, and then on this one, that's pretty much it. Give it a good stir. I love garnishing this with something pretty, like I like throwing a little cinnamon stick in there, and then I'll even You can throw some rosemary in there. You can do an apple slice and just make it really festive and pretty. But that is the red sangria. Super simple. And again, with this one, oh, I forgot my apple juice. What am I doing here? So throwing in my apple juice, just 1 ounce of that as well. That's the best part. Some juices don't stand up to red wine, so it's really important to make sure you find the right juices to go with the right wines. White wine, a lot of things shine through. Red wine is a little bit more challenging. So orange juice, apple juice, they'll always come through. Pomegranate, super, super hard. Persimmon, really hard. But that one, you've got that going. Let me taste test. Got to quality control myself here. Amazing. And if it's a little too tart for you, you can go ahead and take a little bit of simple syrup. I usually just use 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of hot water, melt it together. You can sweeten it up to taste. It's totally up to you. And then, you know, little apple slice in there, make it pretty. And when you get that sugar on the rim and then you get that more dry sangria flavor, they're a really nice combination together. So that is the second one. Make sure, yeah, clean off your hands in between because we get a little sticky with all these fresh fruits and juices. Last but not least, very simple, super fun, lasts quite a while. You can use it for parties. You can take it places easy. You don't have to have ice. We can do it warm. This always makes me reminiscent of when I get to go overseas, which is not happening right now, but in London, every pub you go to in the winter season has mulled wine, and I love mulled wine. It's very simple to do. I use it in a crock pot. You can put it on a pan or in a pot on the stove and put it on a low simmer. But crock pots are amazing and they keep it pretty steady. It's easy to add to it if it starts to reduce. So with the mulled wine, basically I do big batches. And I left you a recipe for a big batch. So like if you're going to a party, you can easily do that. So we start with a red wine base. We're gonna throw all the red wine in there. And then that's my wine. I add my booze. My booze I'm using is gonna be brandy. You can use a brandy that's higher proof or lower proof, totally up to you, or you can use a tawny port. We use a tawny port because we do not carry brandy here in the restaurant. And then maple syrup. I'm going to throw in a couple maple syrup in here. The recipe we're going to post online in just a moment for you. And after I do that, I'm going to add in like some really fun spices, my whole cinnamon sticks. We're going to go ahead and put in about 4 of those. I make sure that they're at least like 3 inches long. And then we do fresh cloves, about 8 small fresh clove heads. And then I do about 4 of the anise stars in there. And last but not least, we're going to add in a whole orange. So you can take the orange and we're just taking the skin off of it. So make sure you don't get the white pithy part of it. You're just going to take your zester or a potato peeler and gently peel that skin off. All of that goes in there. It's going to kind of sink to the bottom. Give it a good stir. I turn it on low, and after about an hour, you're totally welcome to serve it. From there on in, I just unplug it if I take my crock pot to my event or whatever, or I just leave it on low, and then you can take a ladle and pull it out whenever you're ready. So with that ladle, I love finding like if you go thrifting or if you go to like Home Goods, I look for the old school gaudy tall glasses that are like, they're about 10 to 12 ounces. They're crystal. And I love just getting those guys, and I'll ladle this out into it. About 8 ounces is all the servings that we try to do. And when this is nice and warm, it's just super comforting. It smells amazing even if you leave it on your stove at home. And then I just like to do something simple, like throw a nice little sprig in there. You can throw some pomegranate granules in there if you want. And that's that one. So 3 amazing, easy sangrias. The prep on them, not too tragic. I think that you can do these in big batches. Keep it in your fridge. It's good for a couple days. Probably won't last a couple days because you'll be drinking a lot of it because they're delicious. But yeah, so very simple. And just the components again that I want to reiterate here is that you always want to have an acid. So whether we're doing lemon, lime, or in the case of the white sangria, we did the passion fruit. And then you're going to want to have a sugar base. So a sugar-based fruit, which is predominantly our orange juice, apple juice, or pineapple juice, all of those sweeter profiles. That's going to help sweeten up our sangria without making it overly sweet. And then obviously wine. We can do red wine. We can do dry white wine. Please don't do Chardonnay. It'll taste super funny. And then, or Albarino sometimes tastes a bit weird. I like dry rosés. They can give you a beautiful color when you're mixing different things in them. Or you can even do sparkling dry wine. So if you have a cava or a brut, you can totally use those as your base as well. The bubbles won't last very long, but they'll be super effervescent off the start. And then the booze. You don't have to add a booze in. I like adding it in personally. So I'll either add a vodka or a brandy. Those are the two that are preferential. I don't think you need to add a triple sec personally. I've seen people do that with sangrias. You've got all of this sugar in our beautiful produce. There's no reason to add it from a liquor. And last but not least, adjuncts. So whether you're adding herbs or spices, or you want to add a complementing fruit that maybe isn't the main profile but looks beautiful with it, and it's kind of like an add-on, like whether you put watermelon and then you add blueberries, because the blueberries kind of give you that nice little texture feel in the mouth when you're drinking it, and you get a little fresh fruit in there. And then floral. You can also do floral. I love doing chamomile syrup, or you can do edible flowers in there. It just depends on your preference. Even, some rose oil, something more unique like that, which might lend itself towards more of like a rosé sangria that's a little bit more dry. So those are all of those. I can see some notes popping up on the bottom, but I'm far away from the computer, so I can't see what they say. Julie, is there anything that was listed down there that people had questions on?
Actually, I put your email address in there so that people could follow up with you. But I think that, we are taping this, like I said, and we had the recipes up there, and we will definitely follow up those recipes with people. It was so informative, Dana. I cannot thank you enough. I've never been a sangria person, but that blood fruit one is, I think it's going to be in my future.
They're fun. They're fun. And like I said, the recipes that we have posted on that PDF, you can email me. We can send them to you, or we did put them in the screenshots as well. So you can jot them down or screen save them from there. They're made for basically 4 servings. So it's 8 ounces per serving. Very simple. The mulled wine is a little bit bigger, but you can cut that down if you'd like to. If you cut it in half, that's pretty much going to be like 8 to 10 servings as well. And yeah, so these are all the fun things. So play with it, see what you have at home. Just remember those 5 main components when you're building your drinks. I always build from 1 glass, and then once I taste just a little bit as I go, I figure out what I need to add, or I start over again, and I write down my drinks as I go. So if I really, I don't want to forget what I'm doing as I add on. So I'll always be like, okay, I started with 0.5 of lemon, and then I added 1 ounce of vodka. So I literally write it down, and then once I find the recipe I like the best after I've had 10 of them on the counter, we circle that one and then we roll it out.
Hey, if you ever need any tasters, I'll be happy to come down and help you.
Yes, quality control, always important. I need to make sure everyone wants 2 glasses.
Well, Carla just wanted to say thank you, that she loves this and she cannot wait to make some of her own. So
yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, excited. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being part of our event today. We look forward to following up with everybody and seeing you again at some point.
Yeah, come visit us, come check out it on the patio. If you don't want to make this sangria yourself, come to us. We will take care of you. We're open every day except for Monday. We have happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and a rotating menu that we provide local food from other small businesses, whether they're family owned or just local purveyors. And we try to source within 90 miles as often as possible, which is super hyper local, and just things from the beautiful state of California.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again. I hope you have a good day, and thank you to all our attendees today. We look forward to following up with you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.